You know, I think a 90-minute commercial for Mario 3 would have been long enough. I'm Sam.
My parents owe me a damn apology. I'm Justin.
The Power Glove. Need I say more? I'm Jackie, and this is The Wizard on Stink of Madness.
What's that smell?
I don't know about you, but I'm thirsty as fuck. Thirsty as fuck.
Hey, look at this!
Thrill me.
If you come back in here, I'm gonna hit you with so many rights, you're gonna beg for a left.
Thrill me.
Beg for a left.
Thrill me.
Hey, look at this!
No more hangers!
It stinks.
Hangers!
Get to the chopper! Stinker Madness.
Hello and welcome to Sneaker Madness, the podcast about bad movies for bad movie lovers. I'm your host, Justin. With me are always Sam and Jackie. This week on the podcast, we have got a pick from Jackie from 1989, starring Fred Savage, Beau, Christian Slater, some other folks that didn't probably have too much success in Hollywood, called The Wizard. And it has nothing to do with Wizard of Oz, Jackie, just so you know.
I only asked that like
there-
6 times.
There was one extra that did really well that was in this movie.
Oh, okay.
Tobey Maguire is an extra in this movie.
Tobey Maguire?
At the end, when Lucas comes out in between the final round, or the beginning round and the final round, and there's all those kids standing next to him, like, "You're the coolest, Lucas."
Uh-huh.
The one on the far left is Tobey Maguire.
No shit.
Maguire.
Yeah.
Yeah. I even spotted him.
Oh, hey, good
I didn't
job.
know to look for. I was like, I spotted it, and then I had to verify, and it was.
Oh, hey, fuck, I didn't know that.
That's the most interesting thing about this movie. Straight up.
Okay. Well, we want to go ahead and preface this. I think we're all going to be on the same page that this is a bad movie debunked episode. If you're not familiar with why we would do such a thing, is this movie has horrendous reviews. It's got a 23 on Rotten Tomatoes. And a 24 Metacritic score, which is just fucking bonkers to me. But let's start with one Roger Ebert, who said, "The Wizard is finally just a cynical exploitation film with a lot of commercial plugs in it, and it is so insanely overwritten and ineptly directed that it will disappoint just about everybody and serve them right for going in the first place." Ouch.
Ouch. He's not wrong.
He might be. I got some things to say about that for
Okay.
sure that we'll discuss at the end. And I think maybe some viewers will as well. Dave Kerr for the Chicago Tribune says, "A feature-length commercial for the Nintendo Electronics game system, so thinly disguised that it wouldn't even fool a Reagan-appointed FCC commissioner." And then last but not least, let's go to Rita Kempley from the Washington Post. She said, "The Wizard is not only tacky and moribund, it teaches gambling and bad sportsmanship." My God, what a terrible movie.
God.
Bad sportsmanship. Like,
Bad sportsmanship.
yeah, if the character you identify most with is Lucas, then yeah, you're learning some bad, but he's the villain. I mean, so
Sort of.
I mean, he's a villain. But first off, I want to say that Sam, you loved this movie when you were a kid.
I saw this movie the day that I got my first Nintendo.
Oh wow! Like so
this one, like there was, because I actually will agree a lot with the harsh criticisms, because I think that this movie in general is sort of like when the Cleveland Browns beat the Steelers every 5 years or so.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they don't do anything really right, but it's just enough to work, and it is a decent story, and it gets you home, right?
Right.
But it's a pile of turds. It just works. Either way, I get my first Nintendo, which is like simultaneously the reason I get a Nintendo is because the Super Nintendo had come out.
Right. Because you were poor.
And the reason that I got to, because I was poor, and the reason that I got to see this on TV is because they aired it on Christmas the year after.
Oh,
on
okay.
ABC.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
All
so
right.
I saw the free version of this movie with my first Nintendo when everybody else got a Super Nintendo, but the joy was still real.
Yeah.
Poor people
And
and your
so-
joy.
Shut up, Jackie.
That's the voice
Fucking
of
Richard.
Stinker Madness's Jackie, who is a notorious jerk. Jackie, you had not seen this ever.
No, because my parents could afford a Nintendo, so I was too busy playing Nintendo.
Oh, man.
To see this movie.
Oh.
I had no idea that this came out, and when I first started looking at it, I thought, okay, I thought this was a Wizard of Oz movie.
Right.
And so I was like, God, it's got really terrible scores. I mean, and it's Fred Savage, and how is that going to work? Because I don't read the plot lines, because that would be, the right thing to do.
Uh-huh. Right.
So
I guess
well,
she's done.
inadvertent-
That was a weird
No,
ending
well, I
over
was
here.
I was kind of disappointed that there was no magicians or wizards.
Well.
But it was a heartwarming tale
Yeah, it sure was.
of two cities.
I didn't get to watch this either, and I have been trying to figure out why, because it's PG. I had a pretty conservative mother as far as what my viewing abilities were. But PG's fine. There was, I think somebody said bitch once. Fred Savage
There was
says,
2
"Kiss my
shits and a
ass."
bitch.
Yeah, 2 shits and a bitch.
Yeah.
That's fine. But I think I finally penciled it together that this movie did so bad, or was such a non-starter for like moviegoers, like the general family people, that growing up in a small town that was in the mountains, you couldn't just go straight to the movie. Even if you could go see something by yourself, your parents had to fucking take you all the way into town and then go to a movie with you because they couldn't just drop your ass off. So I think that was what it was. It was just the general no interest in my family except for me. And then by the time it came out to VHS, where it could be rented and watched at home by myself, I don't think our local town rental store had a copy of this.
This thing might not have even come to Idaho.
Yeah, right.
Like, I saw it because they aired it on ABC on Christmas.
Yeah, and
I wouldn't have seen it other than that.
Yeah, right. Like it's just a weird tale but no movie that I can think of would have been made at the most perfect time in one person's existence. Like I was huge into Fight Club right after I got laid off, and I was like, oh, fuck the corporations, man. This shit's bullshit. So that there was Fight Club that came out at the right time, and then there probably would have been this, which would have been like the most 10-year-old Justin defining movie that could possibly be made. Because man, this shit was right up my alley.
I can't see a movie being made more for a 10-year-old you than this one. It's got video games and trucking.
And Fred Savage. And I love Fred Savage. Plus, a little bit of child coming of age inside of it movie. And plus, just a general road movie. I love American road movies where even if the plot doesn't necessarily tie into anything and like the scenes don't tie anything, I love kids going on adventures across America. It's the best.
Or across part of Nevada into where they border California.
Yeah.
I think they said they started in Utah, but this is like just in the Nevada side of the California-Nevada borders where they shot this.
Right, and it's total bullshit because there was no desert folk inside of this movie. Like, they should have been kidnapped and, like, ran into, like, maybe a little cannibalism tribe of cave dwellers that live in eastern Nevada, end up in Winnemucca and like, go to that pizza restaurant, and right next door is a brothel, and then they get kidnapped, and then, oh, it's zany. We'll never make it to California.
No, there was trailer. Haley, the principal actress girl,
right?
She was desert folk.
Yeah,
she lived at Boat World, and there was a severe lack of boats at Boat World.
Right,
like none. There was no boats at all. They had a trailer, and she had a putting green on the roof that she hung out with. Yeah. What is more desert folk than that?
Cannibalism, but for a PG movie, you can't toss that in there. So I understand.
Well, we never do see her dad.
Oh, he's out getting the goods, or he is the goods?
No, he is the goods. She's got a freezer full of dad.
Mm-hmm. Dad, I'll have some more of you for dinner.
Spencer Spaghetti.
Spencer Spaghetti.
I'm assuming her dad's name was Spencer.
Yes, sounds right. All right, Sam, why don't you give us your boring bullshit and tell us what you know about this film?
So... The real reason that this movie even got made is because Nintendo USA was just, they were under delivering on all of their dates and fucking up everything. Every game was delayed.
Okay.
There was a shortage of ROM chips. And they're like, well, if Super Mario 3 is getting pushed another year, let's really hype the shit out of it. So they got with Universal and made this movie just because they were behind.
Oh, that okay. All right. Good for them.
Yeah.
That's just good
Good
marketing.
for them. Yeah. Like, we don't have anything to sell, so we're just going to fucking crank up the hype dial.
Right.
And they did.
Yeah.
Because ultimately this thing didn't do very well, but it didn't like tank.
It probably didn't cost very much, right?
No. And it's just a fucking commercial. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not really a movie. It doubled its. It did more than double. It cost $6 million and it made 14.5.
Yeah, that's where I'd probably put it. I mean, I think that's a fair gamble right there for both entities.
Nintendo said, we're going to make a movie to sell the Nintendos to all of the kids that are going to watch this movie that have friends without a Nintendo, and it worked.
Mm-hmm.
They doubled their money on the movie, and they sold a bunch of Nintendos, and people got a hard-on for Mario 3.
Oh, yeah.
Fortunately for me, because it was a year later, on that Christmas, and our Nintendo came with Mario 3. Otherwise, it would be tragedy rather than joy and elation.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, this Mario 3 looks amazing, but wait, I already have it. It's right here. I can play it. Instant gratification.
You dumb bastards. You did this all wrong. You people had to wait for Mario to come out. I already had it. I remember this movie coming out, and specifically the reveal of SMB3 in that scene. Like, it was in the trailer, and I was like, holy shit, they're gonna play Mario 3. I didn't even know there was Mario 3, and I freaked out. So it fucking worked on me big time, because obviously on day one, I rushed out and got, Super Mario Brothers 3, which to this day is one of the greatest games of all time. Yeah, it was like it was like CES for video games. Like, or what's the big the PAX. Yeah. The big
Penny
video
Arcade
game
Expo.
Reveal, before we had those things. So it was
Well, video games is E3 now, but PAX is
right.
sort of all games and games of all sizes, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was like one of those events, like, oh, fucking Bethesda's finally making Elder Scrolls 25 type thing. So,
oh my God, they're gonna make Fallout 76. Crank up the hype machine. Crank it up. Remember the hype machine for that shit?
Oh, man.
People were fucking losing their minds, and then they played it, and they're like, this game blows.
Yeah, it was like E.T., the extraterrestrial, the video game. What else you got, Sam?
So, what you're going to expect is that Jenny Lewis, the actress that plays Haley, was a child actress that never really amounted to anything because you never really saw her anything again, right?
Okay, sure, yeah.
No, she's the principal songwriter and the singer and guitarist for the band Rilo Kelly. She just decided to be a rock star instead.
Okay, all right.
Rilo Kelly broke up a couple years ago, but she is the front for Rilo Kelly.
Oh, cool. Right on. Is that like Jim
And
and the Holograms?
No, it's like shit they played on the river. It's adult contemporary.
Oh, okay.
Like the hardest of the soft rock is what it is. That's
Okay.
what Rilo Kelly. You guys would both like to drink wine and listen to Rilo Kelly. Like, oh, this is really tasteful. Yeah. So that was interesting.
Okay.
You want to hear something? You want a little check up on Fred Savage?
Yeah, sure.
Fred Savage is 43.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. That's not.
That's about it.
That's what he's up
That's
to.
about it.
Hey, was that
He was in Super Troopers 2 as himself.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah.
At least Will Wheaton's working. He's in direct-to-video movies with what's her name, the redhead, Felicia Day. So.
Yeah, he's playing. Will Wheaton's professionally a gamer at this point. He just plays board games,
which is ironic
for
that Fred
money.
Savage isn't. After this movie, it's a launching point into winning the Halo tournament, right?
Is Will Wheaton, was he the other video gaming kid?
No, Will Wheaton's not in this movie.
In this movie, he's Ensign Crusher. God damn it, Jackie!
You ignorant bastard.
I'm not a bastard. My parents were married.
All
There
right.
you go.
Yeah.
So I do want to know though, the other video gaming boy, right? The one with the power glove.
Jimmy. Oh no, Lucas.
Jimmy.
Lucas. Was
Lucas,
he,
I don't know anything about that guy.
Oh, okay. Because I could have sworn I've seen him in something else.
He's just
No,
got
I'm
a
pretty
general
sure that-
90s face.
Yeah, every one of us went to school with one of that kid.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That's every
where you
one of
know
us
him
had
from.
one of that kid.
Yeah.
Your youth.
Yeah.
All right, are we ready to get into the
no,
wizard?
we
then?
gotta tell you. So the wizard is it's a remake of Tommy, kind of.
Wait, like the Who's Tommy?
Yes, that was the
What?
conception. Because they're like, well, you want to crank up the hype machine. Universal's guy is like, I don't really know what we'd do other than just make Tommy for a younger audience. And they're like, that sounds good. And that's what this is an attempt to remake Tommy for a younger audience.
How are you getting that? Where what are I'm failing to make the connection.
Because Tommy was a deaf mute that,
He won the pinball tournament, right?
yeah.
Oh yeah, Pinball Wizard is on Tommy. Yeah, you're right. Oh.
And it started like a craze in the movie where everybody had like these space helmet things on that were blinding glasses and headphone noise cancellation
I've never
things.
seen Tommy. I've only heard Tommy, but okay.
It's not very good.
No, it's not. That's why I've never seen it.
You know what?
Yeah, I don't like it.
I'm just gonna make that my next pick so that we can
Oh,
have a,
no!
a one-on-one comparison.
Tommy's almost like 3 hours long, so we
Yeah.
can veto the shit out of that.
Yeah, and it's just a music thing, or it's a music movie.
And my mom had to continually tell me that Tommy was blind, deaf, and mute. Because when you're watching it, you're just watching Roger Daltrey just walk around like he's just a normal guy.
Right.
The biggest problem with Tommy is that right there, is that you have to constantly remind yourself that he's supposed to be not just Roger Daltrey walking around and being pretty.
Why is that guy always windmilling? I don't get it. Let's talk about the wizard. Are you guys finally ready?
Sure.
Okay, all right. It starts out, we get a shot of a lonely kid on a lonely highway with a lonely lunch pail.
This is a terrible shot because as he's coming up the road, right, he looks like Munchie.
He looks like
I said he
Munchie.
looks like Mac from Mac and Me.
Yeah. And then at one point, he has these really long arms. So he looks like some kind of space alien. I hated this shot. I thought it was terrible.
Jackie doesn't like the desert. She's been duped one too many times on the highway by mermaid mirages.
In terms of the photography of this film, that's probably the best shot in the whole movie.
Probably, I think. Jackie.
Because I was looking at it, and then the next shot happens, and my first note is the second shot isn't great. And then I wanted to write down the next time they dropped a shot, but I couldn't. So instead I was going to write down the next time they shot a good a shot as the first one, and I couldn't do it.
There you go. Okay, see?
And the exposures were all over the place. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why you can beat this movie down. One of them, the photography in this movie isn't great.
No, it's not. So he's spotted by an airplane, flyby. Hey, I spotted that little kid you were looking for, highway patrolman. Get out there and round him up. So sure enough, they grab him, and he's just a little guy that is different than everybody else. I'm not going to make any claims to diagnose any of his trauma or his mental condition, but he's different, and he wants to get to California. He's obsessed with California, so he was walking there. Little Jimmy.
Well, he almost got his head taken off by a propeller.
Right?
And that plane was flying plenty low.
Yeah, I don't know about that guy's pilot's license. Might have been
Also, isn't there probably like just one road out of town? Like, do they have to send an airplane that just can't they just like drive down there and get him?
You think you just drive down the highway? Like,
Yeah,
step
you
one.
don't send the police. He's going the same place every time. Just drive down and get him.
Yeah, I mean, I think step one is to just drive down the highway, unless like movies have ruined us so much because movies always skip step one because the kid's never on the highway. They're always out in a field and they didn't make it, so they get the dogs out and they do that thing with all the neighbors where they walk hand in hand, go across the fields of the town where the child's missing. But step one is go down the highway. We just skip that part in movies normally, except for this one. So Child Services is like, well, he's got talents. He really likes building these structures, and so there's something different about him, but he's not, we aren't worried about, his intelligence. He's just like he's in a little Jimmy shell. He's trapped inside of the Jimmy shell.
Well, and
At the same time, one of the other teachers is like, building with Duplos at 8 years old isn't gifted.
No,
so you know.
That's not a good sign. Not a good sign.
Well, not to mention that this is the first time we hear about the trauma. That he's been like this for 2 years.
Right. Something happened to little Jimmy to put him in the Jimmy shell.
Right, but they don't tell you what the trauma is.
Right. Yeah. Well, you gotta have an ending, Jackie.
Well, they could have said it there.
No, they couldn't have, because it wouldn't have had as much punch at the end. Anyways, we then get introduced to his parents. His mom is very concerned, and his stepdad is a total dick, as is tradition. Then we find out about his other family, who is Fred Savage's family, the Woods family, where there's Corey, Nick, and Beau Bridges, the dad. I don't know what dad's name is, but he's Dad
Tiger.
Beau. What's that?
Tiger.
Tiger. God damn it, Sam.
That was a good one.
God, no, it wasn't. It was awful.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I mean, who names their kid Tiger anyways? So
Joe Exotic.
Joe Exotic. Right? All
I'll
right,
tell you who, Carol fucking Baskin.
So Beau Bridges' character is just hanging on here. He's broken up from Jimmy's mom for a few years. They were married. So Christian Slater's character and Fred Savage's character are half brothers to Lil Jimmy. Or no, maybe Christian
Yes.
Slater's not.
Yes.
Christian Slater and Fred Savage are brothers. They are half brothers with Jimmy.
Okay, so right. Okay, so
Jimmy is the product of Beau Bridges and the blonde lady's marriage.
right.
And it's his second marriage. His first marriage was Christian Slater and Fred Savage.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. That ties all that. He's barely keeping it together, though. He's not doing he's doing what he can, right? But the family's, held together by shoestrings. And Christian Slater's like, God damn it, I want to go down to Tashi Station and get some power converters. And Beau Bridges is like, nope, last time you borrowed the truck, you wrecked it. And now you're drinking beer, you son of a bitch. And so they're always at each other's throat. And Fred Savage is like, guys, they're going to put Jimmy in a home. And they're like, huh? Who's Jimmy? God damn it, I hate my family. And he storms up to his bedroom and masturbates to a furious conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened.
That's what happened.
So Corey is like, no, we're not putting Jimmy in a home. I'm going to go bust his ass out. So he takes a bus over to across town to the orphanage, springs him in the greatest escape that's ever been caught in a child's film of all time.
They hop in the Wonder Bread truck.
Oh, come on. It's so
And-
much more than that, Sam. It is
I
the
know, but-
Hostess cake truck.
It's the Hostess cake truck. I don't know where they deliver these things. I just don't. I don't know where that is. Where on the planet ding-dongs were delivered to your house.
Yeah.
But there's a ding-dong delivery man. And they hop in the back of his truck and the door latch closes. So they only have 6 hours to live.
Right. They're running out of air now. Help us. This was a bad plan. And also, shouldn't it be like refrigerated in there? Because I remember you always get ding dongs cold.
You want them to be not hot, right?
Yeah.
They'll melt.
Right.
So
Yeah, exactly. So now they're frozen to death and suffocated.
But what a
it's
way to
probably
go.
like 50, but still, it's not warm.
Yeah, but what a way to go. Shoving as many ding-dongs as you can down your throat.
Yeah. Just like San Francisco in 76. The good old
70s. Yeah. No, it would have been before that, right? Because in 71, Dirty Harry put a hole in half the people in San Francisco. The sons of bitches.
Yeah, but it was equal putting holes in people. Like, you know.
Oh.
Yeah, it wasn't like he was
All
just
right.
shooting, you know, people that were stuffing ding-dongs down their throat, you know. I mean, they left that to the Stonewall riots. Anybody know their history at all? Okay. So God damn it, I hate you guys sometimes. So they're in there just eating ding-dongs and Twinkies and white bread.
Just balls of white bread.
They're little thieves is what they are.
Well, you know, they're hungry. I mean, they're just sitting right there. You know, what are you going to do? Not eat them? I mean, come on. Be realistic, Jackie. So Mom has hired a private investigator. Whether Mom teamed up with the Secret Service, the Child Services or not, I'm not real sure. But
Mike Banning is on the mission.
yeah, right.
Oh, no, he's not. This is no Mike Banning. You have blasphemy, sir. Blasphemy.
This guy
Sure.
he specializes in hunting down missing children.
Putnam?
Putnam. Yeah.
Yeah, Putnam specializes in being a putt.
Yeah, right. He's
I
like
can't get him because he's a fucking accountant,
right.
a panty waist, and a cowboy.
He's kind of like remember, I can't remember his name, but it's now he's a riff tracks trope. That guy that grumbles all the time. He's always in the short movies. Sam, you remember him? I can't remember. It's like Walter or something.
Yes.
And Walter is just like a wig salesman and his life sucks. And that's this guy.
Everything sucks.
Well, not to mention that he had to borrow his mom's car. I mean, how successful is this guy?
Right. The Cutlass.
And also, like, throughout the movie, right here it starts. And throughout the movie, like, they really make Putnam seem like a piece of shit because of his occupation. Like, you make money off children. And I'm like, he finds lost children. That doesn't make him a bad person.
Yeah, but what if he's creating the lost children? And then, hey, I found him. He didn't make it, but I did my job. There's a slippery slope, Sam. You know? Maybe he's solving the crises he created. Huh?
Well, sure.
Yeah.
Well, he does say that without a body, he doesn't get the money.
Well, it could be a live body.
Right. So he's just like, dude, dead or alive, the kid's coming with me.
Yeah. Oh.
RoboCop, huh?
Yeah. Your move, punk. So Dad and Christian Slater they're gonna go out and find him too. And Putnam's like, just so you know, the only way I make money is if I get the kids. So if you get in my way, Buster, we're gonna have words. And so throughout the rest of the movie, they have hijinks between the two of them.
And this is the first time that we realize that the dad is a landscaper, and he's got somebody's tree in the back of his truck secured. And instead of taking a few moments to take this poor fucking tree down, this tree is the most resilient tree I've ever seen because it still has leaves on it at the end of the movie.
Yep. It's great.
And it's been driven across 2 states.
That's a great comedy device right there. The hostess truck is pulled over to drop off a delivery, and the boys get out and try to look at their surroundings, but Jimmy just starts heading down the highway back to California. And so now they're on foot, and they stop for the night in a cave and don't get eaten by coyotes, which is pretty good on them. They make it to a town in Utah, someplace in Utah, and Fred Savage is like, hey, I got to talk to this guy about getting a bus pass to California so we can get you there. Stand in front of this video game machine for a little while. Guy who's never played video games apparently before in his life. Weird. But it's Double Dragon, and little Jimmy is pretty good.
Yeah, he gets 50,000 points in Double Dragon in 43 seconds.
Right, which
you can't do that.
Let's get right to this, Sam. There's a lot of games in this movie that are things that we have played a lot of.
Sure.
And none of them, for me, ever involved points. Specifically,
Nope.
Double Dragon.
Double Dragon really doesn't involve points. Sure, there's probably a score, but you're only going to keep that if you can beat Double Dragon with your eyes closed.
You gotta go. It's like, it's not how much points you get, it's how far you get. That's how I played all those games.
Well, unless you can beat Double Dragon so easily that you're trying to get every point available.
Right. Yeah, I mean, if you're a completionist, then you transfer to points.
Yeah.
But, dude, Double Dragon was pretty hard, and I never
Yeah.
beat it, so...
And kids
it would
off
be like,
the
I made it
street-
to the fourth boss.
Yeah, kids off the street aren't going to be like, oh, you got 50,000 in Double Dragon. Like, what does that even mean? Do you even know what that means? What does that mean?
Right. No kidding.
I'm going to tell you, Double Dragon is very tough.
It's hard.
You have to make the choice between whether your face is in the
Oh,
toilet
goddammit.
or your ass is on the toilet, and you're going for the bucket. I can't help it. I
You
have
have-
to tell that corny ass joke.
You have
Corny.
to choose butt in toilet. You don't shit in the trash can.
This one time, Sam, when I was in
God.
Chicago, it was the very first time that the Double Dragon ever happened to me. I drank one too many martinis, and I was puking in the toilet, and then I just shat on the floor.
Oh, God.
Oh my God.
So there you go, Sam. You wish that she had had a trash can next to her butt, but she didn't. So sometimes you got to shit in the trash can.
It was like I didn't even see it coming. It was just involuntary.
So gross.
And thankfully, there was a towel there, so I just kind of folded up the towel and put it in the bathtub.
You know, I'm going to go ahead and say that that's worth 50,000 points that you scored in about
Yes.
43 seconds.
You scored 50,000 points in Double Dragon.
You are the wizard.
The winner. High score.
Right?
Okay, sorry.
That's what the custodial service said when they came in and saw all that shit everywhere. Oh, I score. Nice. Okay, so he's talented, and little Corey's like, whoa, holy shit, dude, I can't believe you did that. But there's another little precocious scamp there, Haley. She's I don't know what Haley's doing there.
Later, we find out that her father drives a load back and forth from Reno to Kansas City.
Uh-huh. So what the fuck?
Some reason she's in northern Utah.
So like one day he's like, "Hey, you want to go for a ride to on the like we always do?" And then he pulled over for a sandwich and then just got back in the truck and ditched her. Like, whoops.
No, she said that he sent her home early. But if he just drives back and forth from Reno to Kansas City, he's going to be home all the time. She would never need to go with him.
Right.
Or if she went with him, she would be with him the whole time because there's no reason to like, all right, go ahead and bus home, honey.
Right.
Well, there is
yeah.
the lot lizards, Sam.
Oh yeah.
And he might have, a standing appointment.
Yeah, she's crimping his.
Well, then don't bring the kid to begin with.
Yeah. Well, maybe you got a call from the pickle park on the CB. Hey, get on over here to the pickle park. We got a pickle party. On the CB.
I didn't bring my kid this time.
Did you guys already forget what the pickle park was? God damn it.
I remember what the pickle park is.
I just like to just stare at you sometimes to see how far you'll take it.
Huh? Anybody remember where they put the... Okay. So she notices them, and she's like, oh, 50,000 points at Double Dragon. These two other lost children that are at the bus station must have something worth investigating. So she follows them, and Corey's like, who the hell are you, and what are you doing here? She's like, well, I'm curious about what your situation is. Oh, yeah? Well, I'll challenge you to Double Dragon, and if that kid can beat your ass at it, we get your one bus ticket, which sends only one of us home. I'm not really sure what the plan is here. But.
No, she has to cash the bus ticket in for money and then give him the $6.
What's he going to do with the $6?
With $6, he can get to St. George, Utah for the two of them.
Oh, okay. I see. All right. That works. That
So they
checks out.
immediately start drinking bad whiskey
Mm-hmm.
that they found in the basement.
Right.
They're going to have a race.
Okay.
Trying to get as many points as they can.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, I see where you're setting that up, huh? All right. I thought it was
Yeah.
martinis. Martinis and nachos. Never do it. All right. So he beats her, but it's too late. The bus is left. So now the three of them are stuck together, which begins a long and beautiful friendship.
The bus left the bus station. Guess
Yeah.
what? There's going to be more.
Right.
There's going to be more buses.
We
The
don't have
bus
time for
station.
that, Sam.
And they're like, no, the bus station guy's like, nope, that was the last one ever.
Mm-hmm.
No more buses. I'm
You're
out
done.
of a job.
Yep. Shutting it down. Bye-bye.
Shutting it down.
I'm actually going to run a boat station now. And there's no boats that go to St. George, so get out of here, you punks. So they hatch a plan to use Jimmy for hustling folks. They're going to make some money, and which eventually will end in them going to the video game championship in Los Angeles, California, with a total prize money of $50,000 that they will split if Jimmy can win.
Yep.
And Jimmy's like, hey.
Video Armageddon.
Mm-hmm.
And I like how Jimmy has no say in this at all.
Yeah,
they're going to use his talents, and then they're going to take his money. Like,
Well, Jimmy literally has no say in pretty much everything because he doesn't talk.
So this is the point right now where you're like, I don't think this is Tommy. And inadvertently, this shit just became Rain Man. Like, it is straight up the same movie.
Yeah, right. Yeah. No shit.
It's not really Tommy. It's Little Rain Man. And it's funny that they made Little Rain Man not very long after Rain Man was made and didn't realize they were doing that.
When was Rain Man?
Like 2 years before this.
Okay, all right. Yeah, okay. Whew, I was going to say, dude, if Rain Man ripped off The Wizard, what the fuck?
Now
Tom
I have
Cruise
to check.
sucks.
I thought Rain Man was like 85. We'll see.
Yeah.
85 or 87.
I'm going to go later and say 88.
1988.
Yeah, all right, there you
So
go.
you were right.
Bing.
And they basically made Rain Man again the next year.
Right, yeah. Cool. Can't get enough. Uh-oh. So the PI and the dad and Christian Slater, they all happen to pull into the bus stop at the same time. The PI sees him and is like, oh, shit. Grabs his knife and starts knifing the tires. But then Beau Bridges is like, you son of a bitch. Grabs a shovel and just starts beating the shit out of his Oldsmobile. It's pretty funny.
The working together is at no point an option here.
No.
Like, for one moment, will someone, for God's sake, think about the children? That doesn't happen at all with any of the adults during this movie.
No, it doesn't.
so I've got a technical question. Maybe you gentlemen can help me out with.
The answer is yes.
Nobody wants to know about that.
Mm.
So, you know, on the second tire that he forces the knife into with the palm of his hand,
Right.
wouldn't and then it makes that big pff, and it kind of explodes a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Wouldn't the
Yeah.
knife like shoot out and cut him?
Yeah, shoot out right into his face, and then it's stuck in his eyes, and he's wandering around town going, oh, fuck, my own fucking plan backfield. And then there's people along the roads that are just like laughing at him. It'd be hilarious. I like it.
No, wouldn't that really happen though?
Oh, I don't know.
No, when you stab it, when a tire gets punctured, the air doesn't come out until you remove the whatever punctured it.
Yeah.
So if you can get the knife in, which is hard to do,
Mm-hmm.
from what I've heard, I've never slashed tires, but
Uh-huh.
I've been told that you don't just try to stab it because you'll basically cut off your finger because the knife is going to bounce so hard. Like what he was doing with the back of his hand, pounding it in, is you kind of have to hammer the damn thing in. The tire is really fucking thick.
Yeah, they are really thick. Sam's MO is much more drawing veiny dicks in by Keen.
Yes.
Yeah, that's his-
No, I would put, like, when I vandalize somebody's car, I usually make a sticker that has, like, a butt getting eaten,
Mm-hmm.
and then put it right on the fucking middle of their hood.
In high school, I once saw
that's
Sam,
getting zapped.
in high school, I once saw Sam vandalize somebody's car by standing on the hood and pissing on the windshield. And I'm not fucking making that up.
No, that happened. And we used that picture in photography class
Right?
because it was art, god damn it.
Yeah, we submitted it. There's a picture of Sam's ass. Okay.
Pissing
So-
on the windshield of a car, standing on the hood.
It's a real Rembrandt right there. You dumb dickheads is what our photography teacher said. So the kids have hitched a ride in the back of a farm truck, and the driver sees how much money that Haley's waving around. She's like, oh, don't worry about it. These truckers I know, they've got a code, and they instantly rob these children and almost like assault them too. Like Fred Savage gets tossed to the ground pretty hard.
These guys here, really? They're like,
Right.
oh shit, those kids got like $17.
Hey,
Let's rob the shit out of them.
retirement, here we go.
And yeah, that's what happens too, is that after they finally win this sort of struggle that is playing to cartoon music, the one guy like holds it up in the air like he's the champion of the world. He's like, I got the cash. Like, you got like $17. You should have just kept driving. You get paid more than this.
Yeah, you
What the
dickheads.
fuck?
Yeah, stupid truck driving buttholes.
Those guys weren't truckers.
No, they weren't your typical truckers, but they were driving a commercial vehicle for the sake of delivering of goods. It was cows. So
Those are
technically-
ranchers.
Yeah, well,
Ranch hands.
No, ranchers. Okay.
yeah. Well, let's not get into the technical arguments of ranchers versus truckers, but either way, these guys are no good. Team Dad goes into the tire store, and Christian Slater is like, well, I've found little Jimmy's Nintendo, or Corey's Nintendo. It was Corey's Nintendo, and I've just gone ahead and hooked it up at the commercial tire, and I'm gonna start playing it here. And this happens quite a few times throughout the film as well. That leads
Throughout
to
the Nintendo commercial, they really are pitching the Nintendo.
yeah, he's playing Super Mario Brothers 2 right there. Not keeping
I
track
like-
of the score though.
That he's acting like he's playing video games.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're playing video games, you don't move around that much. You just sit still and play the video game.
Unless you're playing Wii for the first 3 months, then you chuck controllers through your TV.
Through your TV, you trip over the coffee table.
Yeah, right.
Hit your loved ones in the face.
The kids find a couple marks and recoup their money. These two guys.
Yeah, but the thing is I've seen this 1,000 times.
Right.
Traveling salesmen who gamble on video games.
And think they're like, no, dude, we're legit, kid. You kids, you don't stand a chance against us.
You don't even
We've
know,
got
man.
ties on.
Yeah, he's like, Glenn here, he can make it to that third platform. And then the kid's like, that's like the first part of the first level, you fucking idiot.
Well, there's more levels? Oh,
There's
shit.
levels? What are levels?
Right. So they get their cash. So they're set for a little while. Haley sets them up in a junkyard for the night. And it's hilarious because the romance is budding between these two. Corey and Haley, while little Jimmy's taking a nap, and Corey's like, "Oh, you don't get scared of anything, huh?" And so he just pulls out a rubber mask out of his bag, puts it on, and just doesn't go boo to her or anything. He goes, "Well, how about now?" in like the most monotone voice, and she just fucking decks him right in the fucking face.
She knocks his ass out cold.
He's unconscious.
He wakes up, that plastic mask is stuck to the side of his head.
Oh, it's so funny. I laughed my ass off at this part. 'Cause he's like, "Well, how about now?" Whoosh. Oh, like, just play it on loop over and over.
Yeah.
Again. Clocks him. All right. So, where the fuck are we? The next morning, they hitch a ride with a biker gang. Just a little Pee-wee shout out right there as well. They start which leads to a traveling montage.
The entire song, Send Me an Angel.
Oh.
They make a new music video for it for free.
Mm-hmm.
Play the whole fucking thing.
And they're traveling down the road, looking at America, looking at all sorts of weird road art and farms and cows and other people and bicyclists, and it cut to them hustling more people, and Dad and the private investigator chasing after as well. It's a pretty good montage.
I thought the bikers or the bicyclists was kind of weird because they kind of showed it like the kids were passing by the bicyclists.
Yeah, like they were walking.
Yeah, and it was weird. But my favorite thing that they showed during this montage was the beetle that they'd made into a spider.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see that, Sam?
Yeah.
Thing was cool.
I think that's by Palm Springs.
Yeah,
that
that's
might be
not-
by Salton Sea.
Yeah, that's definitely Southern California, Route 66.
It could be on the Nevada side of that, where all that Lovelock and all that nonsense.
Yeah,
Those people, those desert folk build some weird shit too.
Yeah, but there's not enough highway traffic over there for them to justify doing it. It's mostly Route 66 stuff that where that shit is.
Thought that the bug was by Palm Springs, and I think they picked it up when they went to the Cabazon dinosaurs thing, because that's by Palm Springs too.
Right.
I think the bug is sort of by that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Anyways, so they hear about a kid named Lucas, and Lucas is the best. Nobody's better than Lucas. And so they're like, oh yeah, well, fuck, we're gonna take on Lucas. Jimmy can take on anybody. So they arrange a meetup and a tournament, at a rad racer machine, and Lucas has brought in a special case. he's got a Halliburton.
He's having his friends put it on him too, like he's the fucking queen.
Right? like he's got squires.
Yeah.
Bring me my armor and my weapon.
Is that how I never got to touch one of those because I was too poor.
Right. And
is that how those work?
Sucked.
Was that the forerunner to the Wii? Was the Power Glove, and it just took him that long to figure out how to make it fucking work?
The believe it or not, so I did a internet rabbit hole about 2 years ago while I was on the can about Nintendo and all its bullshit things. And the Power Glove was probably the most iconic of all of the bullshit things that they did, and probably because of this movie. The Power Glove, I never got one either. They were fucking expensive. It's not that you were poor, Sam. They were hard to come by. They didn't make very many of them. But they were like, I want to say that they were like $150 in 1989, which is not very much money now, but it's a lot back then. Because the NES system was like, at 1989 was like $75 at that point in time, an entire game system, and then one accessory, $150. It was unheard of.
Yeah.
But what you could do is it had the little controllers. You could still put on the Power Glove and do full control, but then it did have gyroscopes, and that was basically all you could do. Is you couldn't grab onto anything. The fingers didn't work. You could just rotate your hand, and so that was they were dumb. And then the second failing was that there was only about 10 games that had support for it. So you spent $150, the future, and you couldn't play it with anything. So they blew ass.
Yeah.
The other thing that I remember that was crap was the VR Boy.
Oh yeah.
That was terrible. And then I can't even remember its name. I even had it. I bought it used from somebody, but it was the little robot. It was the gyro robot.
The reason that they could sell it in the U.S., the robot
was that
made it an entertainment system and not a computer.
Oh, that's right.
They couldn't import computers.
Right. This fucking robot. I would love to have one of these. And the game, because the game specifically, like it was almost like Mario Brothers, not Super Mario Brothers, but Mario Brothers, where you had to get over little platforms and then get into like a little spinny thing, and that would cause the robot to reach over and grab a top that it would wind up and then put on a platform, and you were like, oh my god, there's a spinning top in front of me and I didn't spin it.
Yeah, I guess, right? The thing is that the robot is a distraction when you don't need a distraction. You're actually trying not to die in the video game. You can't be paying attention to this robot spinning tops.
Yeah,
It makes no sense.
I don't even think he talked or anything. I think his eyes lit up every now and then and he'd spin tops. He was the dumbest. The Power Glove, though. And like Lucas pulls it out like it's fucking Excalibur, like, and he fucking whips ass at Rad Racer with it just by tilting his hand back and forth, because the Power Glove makes you so much better at Rad Racer than just pushing buttons left and right. How's the
Rad
Power
Racer
Glove going to
wasn't
help?
very fun either. I didn't like that game.
It was also too hard. You'd crash way too early.
That's true. I was okay at Rad Racer. It just was boring. I thought Pole Position was better on Atari for whatever reason.
You crashed pretty early on Pole Position too.
Oh no, I could finish the tracks in Pole Position.
Oh, this son of a bitch.
Yeah, you know what happens when you finish, because of the many mistakes Atari made. You know what happens when you win in Pole Position? It just says game over.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep. Good job.
All that driving And
Congrats.
all you get is a game over. You don't even get a fucking podium finish.
And so Lucas turns to them and they're like, holy shit, the Power Glove. How are we going to compete with that? And Lucas is like, I love the Power Glove. It's so bad. It's just fucking jizzed in his pants.
Not to mention that Lucas makes a pass at
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Haley.
Mm-hmm.
And Fred Savage is like, you just keep your Power Glove to yourself, sir.
Yeah.
And then-
she's like, eat shit, this guy's twice as hot as you and he's obviously rich. Fuck off, Fred Savage.
She's not interested in that, Sam.
I want to
Sure.
know what happened at this scene where the kid got upset. Like, I didn't understand this at all.
Oh, Jimmy?
Yeah, like
Okay,
Jimmy
well,
just.
we'll get to that. Because as you say, Fred is being very protective of Haley. He likes her. But Lucas is like, I'll see you guys at the tournament, the championship. So now we know who's the top gun that they're going to have to face up with. Meanwhile, Team Dad is staying in a dump someplace, and Christian Slater's like, I fucking hate this. I can't connect with you at all. We don't even talk anymore. You just want to talk about nothing. And I'm going to go get the fucking video game system, and I'm going to play this while you sleep. And then he wakes up the next morning, and Beau Bridges has actually taken over, and he's now obsessed with video games. He's on board. And you know why, Sam?
Because it was TMNT, the first
Because
one.
it was goddamn Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the game rules.
Yeah, I forgot how much I liked that one.
Yeah.
The one that was Battletoads reskinned, I didn't like near as much. It was still fun, but that one that he was playing there, that was a fucking fun game.
You're talking about Turtles in Time?
No, Turtles in Time was the movie that sucked.
Oh, no. What was this? What was the third TMNT? It had a subtitle too. The video game.
I don't remember. Turtles Take Manhattan, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, one of them's fucking sweet, dude. The TMNT 1 was sweet, but then the arcade, I think it was 2 that was really fucking sweet. Anyways, so he's on board. The kids wake up to find Jimmy out in the middle of a drive-in, a deserted drive-in, and he's building again. So Fred Savage freaks the fuck out because Jimmy's not getting any better, even though it seemed like he was. And
He's out of the shack, and he's playing with popcorn,
right?
Jimmy. Is this like a telling of future things to come? Jimmy's Chicken Shack? That wasn't popcorn. That doesn't make any sense.
And nobody knows what the fuck you're talking about. Jimmy's
Exactly.
Chicken Shack.
Jimmy's Chicken Shack. Remember they had a song once.
Yeah.
No, the drummer lives here, and I met him. He's like, I'm the drummer for Jimmy's Chicken Shack. And I was like, I thought they broke up. He's like, we did. So you're not then. You're just some guy I'm talking to.
I might be giving a little fake news here, but I believe the guitarist for Jimmy's Chicken Shack got COVID, and
Oh, really?
passed away. Yeah, I'm not. Don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure it was Jimmy's Chicken Shack. So it's weird that we're talking about Jimmy's Chicken Shack. Yeah.
Well, Jimmy's building a popcorn shack. It's different.
Yeah, I like that band. Those guys were good.
The bass player
anyway.
was really good, quite good.
Yeah. The reason being is because Corey is now bonding more with Haley than with Jimmy. Jimmy's jealous. Jackie.
Oh, well, it's
Jesus.
kind of hard to read the kid. He's got really no expression and doesn't really talk much.
So either way, it doesn't really matter because all of a sudden fucking Seabass is running him down with a goddamn dodge.
Seabass every time. These punks, these street punks are back. One of the people that they've hustled, and they're like, "Oh, we want our money. You didn't tell us you had a ringer." How long have these kids been hunting them?
Not very. They just
Right.
got up.
Yeah, but where are
They
they?
had one of those nights where they stole somebody's whiskey, showed each other their wieners, and passed out in the back of the pickup.
Right. We're
Now
going
they're
hunting
up.
tomorrow, boys.
Yeah. Hunting for children with cash.
So they beat them up and take the money, and they take Jimmy's hat, leading to something important later. Jimmy's lunch pail, though, during the scuffle gets opened up, and they see it was all keepsakes for his now deceased sister. which then we learn what the trauma was, Jackie.
Yes. The twin sister drowned in 3 feet of water. Why Jimmy was on shore because Jimmy was afraid of the water and couldn't swim.
Yeah.
And Christian Slater's character was supposed to be watching them, and he didn't, and one of them died.
He was making out with some lifeguard or something behind the bushes.
No, he was just tugging on his wiener in the bathroom for a really long time, and they kept making noise. So it causes him to lose his concentration. So he was in there for like 45 minutes. And then, sure enough, she died.
Sam, you're working with Christian Slater right now. You could come up with a better diss than just he's in the bathroom jerking it off. I mean, that's kind of like, that's a B grade joke right there from you. How the hell did you? I mean, it's Christian Slater, dude. You got unlimited disses you could be slinging out. Like, oh, he was too busy fucking up Prince of Thieves.
Yeah. He was too busy getting ready to have the most significant career decline that Hollywood had seen in 20 years.
All right. Now we're back on track. So that's why Jimmy's all buggered up, is because he watched his sister die in front of him, and I don't really blame Jimmy for this. So Corey is like, I want to call it quits. Jimmy's all wonky. He's not playing video games very good. I'm just going to call Dad. And Jimmy says, no, we're going. What? Jimmy's talking.
And then Haley hugs him like she's really been experienced how long he's been like this versus the 2 days that she's known him.
Yeah. She's a quick learner, Sam, or she's latches on to people pretty quick. Like they're family now. Meanwhile, Team Dad spots the private investigator in town and decides to ram him. And they have Destruction Derby in the middle of town, fucking up both of their cars pretty seriously. But it ends in Beau Bridges' truck getting fucked up the most.
Apparently, Putnam knows a little bit about Demolition Derby.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's like, oh, you want to do this? And he goes, he puts it in reverse.
Right.
That's the savvy thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
I thought this was hilarious. I laughed my ass off. And I liked the old man sitting on the porch.
Oh, yeah, the old guy.
It was just
Drinking
sitting there.
Budweiser.
Yeah.
Yeah, just sitting there watching the whole thing, and he's just, all right.
Oh, man, he was great. That was, that was a good scene. So the kids make it to Reno, and they're going to try to train Jimmy there. They're going to make a bunch of quarters, use the arcades there, because Lucas has got 97 games, whereas Jimmy's only played a handful. So they got to really, get in there and give him the old boxing training montage, but with video games.
So she calls Nintendo. And I didn't realize that Nintendo had, help people.
The Nintendo hotline.
Nintendo Power had its own hotline, and there was 2 hotlines.
It was my
that you
dream
could call.
job. I wanted to be one of those guys so bad.
Nintendo USA isn't a thing anymore, is it? Like, Nintendo can just run Nintendo from Japan, right?
Yeah, I'm guessing.
Yeah. There's probably Nintendo USA that's really just some sales representatives, but if you wanted a playbook for how to do extra things that didn't help anything,
right?
Nintendo USA wrote that playbook.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, man. Like, if you think about it, like the Nintendo hotline, I mean, maybe it's just a natural progression in video game society, but the reason we don't have that anymore is because of the internet. We would still have to have a resource. Like, I can't beat this guy. How do I do it? I've asked everybody I know. Nobody plays this game. Like, who the fuck plays weird little fantasy games like you little weirdo? Play gun games.
You have to go to Captain Comics and whatever sells Nintendo Power.
Right.
And the one guy knows which issue you need, and he goes in the back and he gets it for you, and it's like $5, which in 1990 is a lot of fucking money for a magazine.
Yeah. I never had a subscription to Nintendo Power, but one of my friends did. But I got that hotline number, and I knew it, and I never called it once because it was an 800 number, and I wasn't allowed to.
Yeah,
and
it was expensive. Number. It was $1
like
a minute.
$2 a minute to call Nintendo hotline, like to get a tip, and you had to go through hold, of course, because then you had to tell them what your game was, then they put you back on hold, and then eventually they'd come back with the answer, and it got fucking expensive for people. I know a couple people back then who got in deep shit by spending like a couple $100 on calling
Yeah.
the Nintendo Power Hotline.
Which was probably 2 fucking phone calls.
Right, exactly. So, but yeah, God, that was my dream job. You could just sit there and then like random people would call you about and be like, how do you beat this? And well, I don't know. I've never tried it. Give me a little while. And then you get to play video games.
So this is what you're going to have to do 9 out of every 10 calls. Have you turned the power on? Try to do that. It's working now? Okay.
All right. Have a nice day. Thanks for the paycheck. All right. So the private investigator makes a call back and sees the dad's truck. And he's like, oh, I got an idea. And he has it towed away. Inside the diner where the dad and Christian Slater are at, they see the punk that stole Jimmy's hat. And they're like, oh, you motherfucker. Where'd you get that hat? And he's like, I took it off a dumb little kid. And then I knifed him. And they're like, you didn't knife him, did you? And they're like, no, I didn't. Where'd you get that? And Lucas happens to overhear the whole thing. And he's like, I know where they are. They're going to the video game championship at Universal Studio in Los Angeles on Tuesday at 8 p.m. hosted by Biff Stevenson, man. Get your tickets now.
I was saving Biff Stevenson for later.
Okay, well, then we'll get to Biff Stevenson later. Either way, Lucas has a bevy of information for him on where they're going. So they find the truck, and it has been completely parted out, including the plant, I think.
Yeah, there's nothing left.
Nothing.
The
just
tree's
frame.
even been sold.
Yeah.
And so I don't. Well, one, this has got to be illegal as shit, right? And then
No.
2, like, how long had the truck been there?
Right? How fast are workers are those guys?
Pretty fast. You can strip a truck down with air. It's like anything else. If you're not putting it back together, you can take it apart real fast.
Putting it back together is the trick.
Putting it back together is the trick.
All right. So the PI, he gets to Reno, and he finds Corey at the pool, and Corey's like, oh, shit. And then some lady comes up and is like, oh, hey, that little kid you were looking for, he's in the arcade. So he drops Corey, runs into the arcade, and grabs Jimmy, and he's running out, and Haley screams and goes, that man touched my breast, and gets dive tackled by guards and then sent to prison, and they stab him to death for doing that. The end.
He's killed. They've drawn and quartered him with police cars in the back.
Yeah.
Well, security vehicles.
Yeah, man, don't touch.
These aren't
children.
real police. These are casino cops.
Oh, they play by their own rules.
Not to
They
mention
do.
that
They're
anybody.
dangerous.
Not to mention that anybody that's carrying a kid the way he is, like a fucking hot
You
dog.
just say, hey, that guy's stealing that kid.
Like God, he actually didn't. I don't know what happened here. I was watching this and I was like, not good. Don't pick him up like that.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
You're carrying him like a hot dog.
No, you're carrying him like a.
How does one
I don't
carry a hot
know.
dog, Jackie?
How does that work? Did he put him in a bun?
He just had him long ways. And then why did he have to put his hand in between his legs?
That's the problem I had. I was like, no, that's no.
Because that's how you carry a hot dog. That's how I do it. I go down to the
That's how you
gas station
carry
and I
a-
just get all up in there.
You carry a hot dog that's attached to a human's pelvis.
Weird. Okay, so they beat his ass up, and the kids run away and they hide out at Haley's home. And it's not this big grand mansion that she promised that she lived in. It's desert folk
It's
territory.
pretty grandiose desert folk thing. I talked
It
about
is.
it, but it's
Yeah.
Boat World one.
Most of them live in caves, so you know.
That it's got its own sign that says Boat World, and then on the other side of the Boat World sign, there isn't a boat to be seen for 100 miles.
Right. Yeah.
And
so-
then there's just a trailer with an RV. So they got an RV and a normal single wide trailer, and then the putting green with the lawn on the roof. It's very nice.
yeah, it's luxurious. She doesn't know what she's taking for granted right there.
Well, not to mention when we do get the inside shots of this thing, it's not like it's a dirty, dank thing.
No, I think she's just embarrassed because she's not rich. Because she's not some fancy lady.
I don't know how that feels.
Yeah.
Well,
Shut up.
Fred Savage is like,
What?
Oh, you're like Link in the Adventure of Zelda. You're just trying to find Zelda, or Link's trying to find Zelda, and you're trying to find a house. It's
Right.
just the same thing. Meanwhile, Fred Savage lives in a shitbox that isn't really any nicer than that trailer.
No, it's not. And I don't know what her problem is with that. I think that's a fine comparison. She's like, that's sexist. It is? Why?
Why?
I didn't understand it. I was
Yeah.
like, okay.
It's actually not, because he's comparing you to sex has nothing to do with it. What are you talking about, lady? And he's like, oh yeah, well, I was gonna kiss you right then. And she's like, I wouldn't kiss you if you were the back end of a horse. And he's like, what? That doesn't even make any sense. And then she plants one on him. So now they're girlfriend and boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what that means.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
Then
now
you
it's
become
really
an adult
rounded.
and you realize that, just because you kiss somebody doesn't mean shit.
Well, when it's on top of a dumpster behind of a barf bar, then yeah, it doesn't mean shit then. But if it's on top of a trailer house and it's your first love, it means a big deal.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, not that I've ever said I kissed anybody on top of a dumpster behind a barf bar, but, if I had, I probably wouldn't give a shit about him either. Barf bar fly.
Oh my God.
God.
Justin's walking down memory lane over here.
Get out of here.
Get out of here. I'm just gonna hang out behind this dumpster by myself and not make out with you.
Actually, can you give me a hot dog?
Carry it long ways.
Yeah. It's the only way to.
Hold on. I brought my own. Look at that. You like it? You like it?
Do you want to touch it?
Grab it like a hot dog. You know what I'm saying?
And then she grabs you like a hot dog and throws you in the dumpster and closes it on you, and nobody
Like,
hears
"Thank
from you for a
you."
few days. That'll work too. Bye. Drive safe. Okay, so the PI finds them at her address. He looked it up, and he steals Jimmy in the morning, and they're running after him, and they're like, God damn it, he's got Jimmy. What are we going to do? And Haley's like, oh, I've got an answer. I'm calling in my friends.
Truckers.
It's awesome. They
So
chase him down.
Yeah.
Box
and
him
they
in.
lock him in.
Yeah. Punch him
And
out.
then this is when you see it.
What?
When you see on the side of the red truck.
Oh, I
You
noticed
see the
it.
sign Hawk Hauling.
Yep.
It's the
hello.
same fucking truck from over the top, and they didn't even repaint it. They just
didn't
put it
even
right in the movie.
Right. Yeah, that's Lincoln Hawk's big rig.
I didn't
That
realize
is
that.
Lincoln Hawks.
Yeah. On the other side, it had a really crappy sticker because they knew that it was going to be in the shot on that side, but when he opens the door, they didn't plan on the door getting in the shot. So then later, the next time on the passenger side, they've got like this cardboard, like Jim's trucking over
Yeah.
over Hawk Hauling. Nice. No, we noticed, guys. What do you do? Just have that truck just sitting on a back lot someplace? Like, oh, that's the only truck we can use today. Why did we even keep it?
Well, it's Universal, and as we all, well, maybe not all of us know, but as I and Justin learned when we went to Universal, they just leave those things out in a back lot, and then you just drive by them on a bus.
Yeah, but the irony is that, or not the irony, I don't know what the right word is, but fucking Lincoln Hawk, God damn it, Over the Top was a Canon movie. So Canon sold that truck to fucking Universal, a much bigger studio.
Yeah. Or they rented it from them to begin with, right?
Oh, I guess that could be too. Yeah. All right, so they get a ride with the trucker whose name is Spanky. He's also the guy that helped her get all the quarters to train Jimmy up. But he takes them all the way to Universal Studios, and they enter the tournament.
And I don't get this. Maybe this was a Nintendo thing at the time, but the guys who are registering these kids, I don't know if they're supposed to be like trying to create excitement, but they're just kind of yelling at everyone.
Yeah.
Get your asses in there! Hurry up, you little fuckers! Ah!
But in a fun way, Jackie.
I didn't think that sounded very fun. I thought that sounded like a fucking hate my job and I hate all you.
I thought those guys were cool. I would have liked him in 1989. I would have been getting pumped. Hell yeah, I'm here to play video games, sir.
Yeah, I would have looked at him and be like, "Don't fucking scream at me."
Yeah, well, you weren't the 1989-year-old me, were you? Huh?
Well, no, I was classy.
Yeah, whatever.
I also liked
Double Dragon, classy.
Hey, that was years later, not 1989 me. But I also like that they had Count Dracula there and Frankenstein and Woody
Universal
Woodpecker.
Yeah.
They had they'd pumped out all their major studio lot characters to be in the shots, and I thought that was cool.
It's total commercial, Jackie.
I loved it. Loved it.
Where could we shoot this in the cheapest way possible while also maximizing exposure to our marketing?
Yeah, like that's what they're doing. Well, if they're getting a fucking commercial, we gotta. You know what? Fuck this. Put the tram in. Put the whole thing in. Put the whole thing in. We're getting a commercial too. God damn it.
It's awesome. Anyways, inside the qualifying round is Ninja Gaiden and Lucas and a nerdy girl and Jimmy are the top 3 scorers. So they're the ones everybody else doesn't get to play in round 2. There's only the qualifying round and then the ultimate 15-minute tournament to win the video game championship, which seems like not very many people are going to be buying tickets to watch this goddamn thing.
No, it also seems like the video game championship lasts about 3 hours altogether.
You think that long?
Whole thing.
Why do you say that?
Top to bottom.
I was thinking like 45.
45 minutes? All right.
Yeah, because it seems like there's only 3 qualifying rounds where they eliminate everybody because there's only 3 people in each round, this nerdy girl, Lucas, and Jimmy. And then they put 15 minutes on the clock to maximize your score. So maybe an hour at most. It's crazy.
Yeah, this wouldn't work.
No one
would go to this.
No. And then you can't see a goddamn thing because they don't have any sort of projectors or anything that anybody can. They got fucking tube TVs, like maybe 27 inches at best, that the kids are standing in front of, that nobody in the stands can see what they're doing.
Also, the guy running this, the hype man,
right?
He is a wastelander who's been dressed up. Like, before he was calling this, he was like, looks like he lost his head. Oh.
Right.
And he's been calling competitions. He's been the announcer for the most dangerous game the whole time. And they're like, well, we couldn't find anybody else, so let's put him in a room full of kids. See how it goes. What could go wrong?
Hero. You know, he's Thunderdome.
He's sweating profusely as well.
Yeah, I thought he kind of looked like Buster Poindexter as well. I would have liked it better if they got Buster Poindexter. Why didn't they get Buster Poindexter? The fuck was he doing that day?
Would have scared the shit out of all those kids.
Yeah, that could be too. So he announces that the final round between the 3 of them will be a brand new video game, and Haley's like, what? We didn't practice for a brand new video game. Shit, what do we do?
Well, that's the thing where she's worried, but it's like, well, neither did anybody else.
Right. Yeah, it's not.
This is
really
a level playing
Jimmy
field.
Has to play it before or something. I don't know.
No, in fact, because he's the wizard, right? And he can just like pick it up immediately.
Right.
This is like checkmate for him.
Yeah, dream situation.
Yeah, because what's his face has to use a magic glove and practice all hours of the night. Jimmy can just like play it.
Yeah, exactly. I don't understand it. But the private investigator and the parents have shown up at Universal Studios as well. And Lucas outside during the 15-minute break is like, hey, there he's over here. Come get him. So the kids are now getting chased. They run to the bus tour. The private investigator jumps on the back of it, and the team dad sees them. So now everybody's on the bus tour, headed towards Jaws, or Bruce the Shark. And but the kids jump out at the King Kong show. This was the King Kong that Jackie and I didn't get to see. The original.
I got to see King Kong, yeah.
Yeah, the puppeteer.
And Jaws.
Yeah, they still have Bruce. Bruce looks pretty crappy, but I never this kind of showed me more of the original King Kong than any other movie or things. And don't get me wrong, the Peter Jackson King Kong is really cool, but I kind of still wish they had this puppet there.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Was this Jeff Bridges' King Kong? Is that what the one in 83, something like that?
With Queen Good Looking. What the hell's her name? Jessica Lange?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's cool, dude. I wish they still had him. I don't know why they don't. It's kind of a bummer.
He's probably in a warehouse somewhere.
Or he just broke down, or mice got into him and started eating his head, or
like everything else, when they auction that shit off, there's some fucking desert folk motherfucker in between Palm Springs and the Salton Sea that's built a museum around it, probably.
Yeah, probably. All right, so they're getting chased around. They're chased underneath the Kong display, and they run into this like little catwalk area, and they're right on top of the tournament. And Buster Poindexter's down there calling out like, "Hey, we're about ready to start this. So wherever you are, Jimmy, come on down." And the private investigator comes in. He's like, "I'm going to get you." But then he manages to chase them perfectly onto an elevator that just happens to be up there, and they go down. Thanks.
Yep.
Thanks for doing that.
Lowering Jimmy directly into position.
Right. For a badass entrance, because the stage opens up and smoke's coming out, and there's Jimmy like he's fucking Luke Skywalker out ready to kick some ass.
Yeah, and then the guy is not surprised because he would be like, "How'd that kid get back there?" But then he'd go, "How do they fucking get anywhere? Put 60 kids in one room, you're gonna see some shit."
Yeah.
I thought it was weird when he grabbed the girl contestant's braids and made him dance. I was like,
Yeah.
Easy there, Buster.
yeah, dude, getting a little weird.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, the game is revealed to be Super Mario Brothers 3. Hooray! And the family makes it just in time to see Jimmy play. And I'm going to try to break this down and make it as exciting as possible because I'm describing Jimmy's video game styling here.
Before you do that,
Okay.
many years removed, 3 people that have all played a lot of Mario. These are not pro moves that are happening in this movie.
No,
There are people
not.
dying to flying Goombas. Really.
Even if it's your first time, like, boy, oy, 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 oy. Although there is some pro moves because he knows certain things. But, yeah, Jimmy's leading. He's doing pretty good. But then he gets hit by a hammer, bro, holding a damn boomerang. Those sons of bitches. Hate those guys. Then, like, immediately after that, he gets just hit by a flying Goomba. It's like, dude, come on, man. You got it. The flying Goombas are the easiest Goombas to avoid.
Those are really easy to avoid.
Yeah.
They've killed me on several
Yeah,
occasions.
Jackie's not very good at Mario.
I'm not. That's why I like it when the 3 of us sit down and play, because one of you two is usually still alive, so I have unlimited lives, so I can just keep rejoining.
Right.
The Mario game on Wii that you can all play at the same time. The 3 of us playing that is like a schoolhouse on the lack of teamwork.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
It is. We're killing each other. It is ridiculously fun to watch.
It usually involves somebody getting a black eye by the end of the night.
We're all screaming at each other.
Stop it! I'm jumping on your head constantly.
Wait for me, you fuckers! Wait for me!
Ah, God damn it.
I got pushed into the lava. I hate you people.
So finally, Jimmy makes it to past level 1-2. And he finds the warp whistle and immediately goes to 4-1, which doesn't make any goddamn sense because the whole thing is going off points. And if you are going for points, you wanted to play as much as you possibly can, but then there's a timer going down. So it doesn't, like, what does the warp whistle and going to 4-1 immediately have anything to do with anything?
According to the movie, the warp whistle gave him points, and then I'm going to just guess that the points get higher as you go. So if you're in World 4, maybe you get more points every
There's a
time. I don't know,
multiplier.
but either way, the whole 10-minute thing is like, okay, what are you going to do? You can 10 minutes of Mario 3 and then the video game champion of the world? Kiss my ass.
Yeah, no
There needs
shit.
to be
Kiss
some
my ass.
better that cannot be the basis of any sort of championship.
No kidding. It's a dead heat at the end, and right as time runs down, Jimmy jumps up, and as he's beating the level, gets a invincibility star, which gives him mega points, and he wins the whole thing. I don't
So if there was point values associated with this, I don't think there is. There is not, because the point value would come up. The only thing you get for the star is the 2-up. So 1, there are no points associated with getting the star. And she's like, get the star. He's already got a flower and a fucking mushroom. It doesn't matter. He's not getting anything other than one fucking up.
Right, you stupids. Anyways, he wins the day. Disappointingly, doesn't give everybody a thumbs up while he's on stage. But they all head back. And Jimmy spots the highway dinos. What's this place called, Sam?
It's like the Wheel Inn restaurant.
Okay.
And it's it's outside of Palm Springs, but I believe it's called Cabazon, California, and they're called the Cabazon dinosaurs, even though it's the Wheel Inn restaurant that built them.
Yeah, and it's also if you've don't know what we're talking about, it's where Pee Wee had a nice evening with a lady one time. Same place.
Simone.
Yeah, right. So he sees them and he's like, California, pull over. So they pull over. He runs into a brontosaurus, runs up to its head, and they're like, what's going on, dude? And long story short, he wanted to leave his lunch pail there because inside was a picture where they once went when he was younger, and they were all happy together while his sister was alive, and he just associated that with California, and he wanted to leave her keepsakes in a place where she was happy. And they're like, oh, God damn it, you little bastard. And everybody's crying, and
they're crying.
Mom says, I loved you this whole time, Beau Bridges.
Yeah.
Meet me at my house. Get out of here, Fred.
No, she doesn't do that. What she does is like, okay, you're right, you're a better parent than me, but I'm keeping Rick because he's rich as shit, and I'm going to toss some cash your way. That's how things are going to go now.
All right. Yeah. So they all get to go home together now, and they're kind of...
Including Haley.
Yeah, right.
Rick Savage gets a live-in girlfriend at 10.
Bang maid. Well, I guess she's not a bang maid. She's just like, your girlfriend lives with you at 10, dude.
Not a good thing. Because that's like question one. Is that what happens? Because that seems like she's going home with them.
I don't think Dad's coming back. I don't think he's coming back, dude.
I don't think she has a dad.
Yeah.
I don't think he might be dead. She's quite the wastelander for a young girl, but she is a wastelander.
Yeah. And, she's sitting on $25K. It's a good start to life. And then, does Fred Savage get any cash?
No, Fred Savage is a fucking putz. He doesn't deserve any cash. He didn't win any video games. He had the one tragedy that everybody else had, but ultimately he has no skills.
Right.
He's got eyebrow skills.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he looks inquisitive very well. So her parents are like, wait, if Jimmy's splitting that $50,000 with her, well, we need to make sure that she's, around us. She can take care of us now.
I don't think it's like that.
Oh, it's like that. Yeah. Get us out of this little broken down house that's rotten, the wood's rotting off of it. And hey, of course your girlfriend can come live with us. He's got $25K. I think, yeah, she goes back with him.
Which in the Reagan era, $25K goes a long way.
Yeah, right. Of cash. I thought you meant Coke. Like $25K of Coke goes not very far in the Reagan era, actually.
No, not very. And this is actually under Bush, I think. Bush 1.
Yeah, this would be Bush 1. But still Reagan era kind of. Jackie, question?
Nope.
Okay, fair enough. What's Lucas's future hold for him?
He's going to be rich and good looking his whole life, and I will quit talking to him after we are forced to graduate from whatever school we were in together.
Right.
I think he goes bald.
Okay. I think he runs for Congress and is like one of those spoiled, I'm going to sell my stocks before a coronavirus epidemic because he's a little dickbag. I want to punch Lucas pretty hard. I think he's a real prick.
Lucas goes to USC, even though there's really no reason he should go there because his parents were just like, oh, we just donated $2.5 million to USC, coincidentally at the same time that he needed to be admitted there.
Yeah. To the rowing team or whatever.
He couldn't even be on that.
Right. But he gets to go in anyways because he's a little dickhead. Yeah, I don't like Lucas. I hope his future holds that he drinks too many one night and drives off the PCH and his car blows up in air because that's how it works, because that's how I've seen it in movies. Yeah.
While he's double dragoning in the car.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, with a herpes outbreak on his dick, and it's super itchy.
Right before he gets to 50,000 points, and he's like, God damn it, I didn't reach that.
And then his headstone reads, he died how he lived, exploding in a ball of fire in his own shit.
Yep. My last question is, how do I forgive my parents for ruining my childhood? Because seriously, I loved this movie a lot. And man, what a missed opportunity for me being young. It just would have changed my life completely. But which leads me to final recommendations. I'll start. It's a do for me. I loved it, and I do think it's a good movie, despite its commercialism. I was genuinely like, I care about these characters. I thought there was some nice dialogue that worked in it. The comedy was intentional, and for a kids movie, none of it was wah, wah. I didn't groan once, and I just really enjoyed it. Not ironically, I loved it. Sam,
I give it a do as well, and I don't think it's a bad movie, but in terms of its technicals, it's just chock full of mistakes, and that's why it gets beat on. But it's like 29% everybody, like the shit that Roger Ebert was saying, like, no, it's still a good kids movie. Kids are gonna fucking love it. The movie, they made this for a specific audience, and that audience showed up in full and doubled the money on the picture. It worked perfectly.
Except for those that had dick parents.
Dick parents, yes.
Yeah.
But yes, it is like there's overexposed shots. There's like the Christian Slater when his dad goes, oh, just I'll see you there. And then he drives off. And then Christian Slater in the shot has to get into the passenger side of some blue truck. I guess he just takes a nap in there.
I don't remember that scene, but
at the very beginning, when they drive off from the meeting with the Putnam and all that business, Bill Bridges drives off in the truck and says something, and then Christian Slater's like, I guess I'll see you later. And then he just gets into the passenger side of some vehicle that we've never seen before.
Right.
And we never see again. And we're like, what? And I guess that they left like an hour of this movie on the cutting room floor. Yeah. So there's a lot of that, happens when you cut an hour from a movie. But the guy, Tom Holland, probably shouldn't have fucking made a 2.5 hour kids movie to begin with. Right.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So,
but ultimately it gets you there. It's got the heart, all of that. It just has a bunch of mistakes, but it's not 29 on Rotten Tomatoes that's a fucking crime.
Yeah, that's outrageous. Jackie?
Although there was no wizard, no pointy hats or stars or moons or staffs or anything green.
Jimmy is a wizard.
Anyway, I fucking loved this movie. I feel the same way that Justin does. I wish I would have seen it when I was a kid, because I liked as a kid, right? I always like those movies where the kids just kind of bust out and they start traveling, and that's what I wanted to do as a kid. I used to look out at the mountains and think, probably wouldn't take me that long to get over there, because I'm a dipshit kid and I don't know, right?
Right.
But I think that the critics got it wrong. I think this was a fun and not too overly emotional or too sad at the end about the daughter. I really felt like they played that card to the balance perfectly.
Yeah, it's not sappy. I thought it landed really well.
Yeah.
Like, man, that kid's got some issues, but dude. And like the thing about a lot of these movies don't get right when they go out and try to make a kids movie is they make cool kids that don't have any flaws, or the cool kids are like the dick, but the not dick kid has no flaws really. These kids are flawed. They're like, especially Haley is from a clearly broken household and has, to basically live off a life of crime to even exist. And Fred Savage is just like, also has a difficult life, home life. He wants to be with his mom and his dad at the same time. He wants it to be like it used to be, and it's not. And then Jimmy is completely psychologically broken. I think that's always admirable when a filmmaker can like not dance around the fact that we're all fucked up, and especially kids are also all fucked up, and that's okay. I like that they didn't dance around any of that that they're not flawless. None of them are cool. They're all dorks, really.
Yes, except fucking Lucas, that prick.
Yeah, fuck Lucas. We don't talk about him anymore. So yeah, I was really impressed, and I totally think it's a totally bad movie debunked episode for me. So there you go. Next week is my pick, and we will be going back into the blaxploitation with TNT Jackson. So that is on Amazon Prime right now, so make sure you watch that if you haven't. It's a karate movie with the black lady. It's great, and we'll do that. So anything else, guys?
Oh, send me emails.
Yeah. Okay, send Jackie emails, and we'll
Send
talk.
me an email.
We'll talk about them on the next Corona-sode, which will come out Thursday. I hope you guys have a great week. Get to the chopper.
Visit us at www.stinkermadness.com. Follow Stinker Madness on Twitter at Stinker Madness. Please rate and review us on iTunes and Stitcher. Thank you for listening, and get to the chopper.